going on, everybody? We have Wrestlemania. We just had TakeOver, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, the whole road to WrestleMania in this big, humongous collaboration of excellenceness. Frank?
You forgot the best part. TakeOver.
No, I said that, didn't I?
I don't know if you did.
I
What
thought I did.
about the Hall of Fame? That was almost as long as WrestleMania.
Ooh, that too. I haven't gotten through all that. But Frank, before we go any further, what do we have tonight?
We have something of what we had last week. Another special guest host. I introduced Jamal Richardson is with us.
Yeah, what's up, guys? How you doing?
So I feel like most nights it's basically me, Jamal, Chris, and Thad. That's it sometimes.
Oh, in the threads? Yeah.
And maybe Rain jumping in and talking about how much he hates the storylines and babyface.
Himself a babyface, that's for sure.
All right, so guys, what we all think of WrestleMania?
Jamal, why don't you start us off? Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, I think it was one of the better WrestleManias. It was I definitely think it was fun. A lot of entertaining aspects. Some things fell through, but I think it delivered better than a lot of the more recent Manias.
Yeah.
I agree. I thought it was a really good Mania. I mean, I thought going into it was going to be a good Mania.
The card was stacked.
The card was stacked. I mean, everyone in the roster was in there. But overall, I would say only 3 matches actually delivered. And we had a couple of surprises. And I'm just going to say this now. Ronda Rousey impressed the shit out of me. Holy shit. I did not expect that from her.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't expect her to be that good. There's so many things she just got. It was like the little intangibles that most people don't get coming in on their first match on the biggest stage. I just overall was very impressed with her.
I mean, but she's also been training supposedly for a year now, right?
Yeah, but keep in mind, you have people working the indies who've been doing this for 5, 6, 7 years. And I mean, for her to just walk in the door, it was like she was Kurt Angle. She just walked in the door and knew exactly what to do.
Yep, she was good.
So Thad, what about you? What'd you think?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It does at times, and I think you definitely feel this in the crowd, especially for people that are up and down on their feet, waiting on lines for bathrooms and food and stuff like that. It gets to be a long night, but it's cool. It was fun. There was a lot of really good matches. I was saying to Jamal and Frank in the pre-show, I really enjoyed, especially the first half of the pay-per-view. It seemed the entrances were nice, even with the Intercontinental match, right? Seth Rollins comes out and he's got the blue theme going on. He's got blue glowing contacts. It looks like
that was dope.
Finn's got the whole Rainbow Coalition LGBT group with him. Miz comes out in some funky outfit. Like everybody stepped up their game. Charlotte's entrance was amazing. Nakamura's was really good. Having the guitarist do the violin part or the melody, I guess, it's not just the violin part, but and then it crashing together with the violins. I thought that was magical. I was hoping for something really awesome with Bobby Roode, maybe like a choir or something, but overall, Mania delivered. And like Frank said, we kind of expected it to. There were some really good matches on the card. Obviously, some bookings go this way, some bookings go that way. You like something, you don't like it. But overall, I think for the most part, no match you could sit there going, oh, God, this thing was terrible. Right? I guess the least exciting thing for me was the Nia championship win, I guess. And it wasn't even a terrible match. I wasn't crazy about the storyline. There's not that much you can do with the whole, gentle giant and tiny heel, but I thought they did fine, and every match came through.
All right. So let me go through the card, and we'll just chime in with our thoughts on each match and what we thought they did well, what they didn't do well, and reaction to the outcomes.
Sweet.
All right. So let's switch gears over to the main event, WrestleMania. So we had no. There was another one of those WrestleManias with no backstage segments, no, no real other segments aside from I guess the Alliance with Undertaker and Cena, but
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of backstage stuff.
basically like a match to match to match show.
They had so many matches. I don't think they had
Yeah,
time for backstage segments.
It's true.
yeah, that's true.
It's damn true.
All right. Let's start with the pre-show. So the first match was the men's battle royal.
It was what it was up until the end.
Yeah, it was pretty long though. It was funny because I just watched it I think yesterday finally, and
Oh, okay.
I was kind of surprised how long it was. Like I was like, wow, is this match still going on, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you needed it to showcase a couple of guys here and there. Ziggler with a couple of near falls and whatever. The will they won't they with Corbin and everything. Yeah, I don't know.
It was cool that it came down to like the last couple of winners and Matt basically.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
cool. Then Bray reappears with his same gimmick, but it's not the same and whatever.
Same but not the same.
Yeah, I'm still not
Okay.
buying this, but
Gotcha.
they still the same thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
disappeared.
just
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Like that's the weird thing about it. It's like I know Matt was saying like he ridded Bray of Abigail, but I wish they would like give us something visually we could like you could see like Abigail was gone.
Mm.
Like even something simple like just I mean it's cliche, but like he usually wears black, like dressing him in all white, like
Yeah. Or even
something as
have
simple
him
as
go
that.
back to like the Hawaiian shirts or something.
Yeah. Because it begs the question like Bray has been saying he's been preaching Sister Abigail's teachings for so long in the main roster, or even back in NXT, I think. And we've been doing this for so long. Like, what does Bray sound, look, and talk like without Abigail?
Mm.
And we don't know.
Yeah, they had the little segment on Raw with Jeff, but yeah, he hasn't cut a promo yet. I don't know. I'd like to think that it's not going to be the same. He's going to be a little bit more happier and cheerier, maybe. I don't know, but we wanted it, and we got it, so I'm fine with that. Having Bray and Matt team together at least for a little bit is glorious.
Wonderful. All right. Next was the women's battle royal. This thing was just a letdown.
Yeah. I actually I liked it to some degree. From the standpoint of like early on, it gave the NXT girls some shine. I liked how they kind of teamed up together and they were kicking the other girls out and all that kind of stuff. But then the vets came back and systematically pretty much eliminated them. Boom, 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 boom. And then like you get rid of Becky early. Like I didn't understand that at all. and then you do this whole thing with so Bailey is finally standing up for herself and the Sasha and the this and the that and oh my god, and she threw Sasha over and oh my god, Bailey did it. Oh my god, we can start liking Bailey again. Oh my god. Oh, it's Naomi. Oh, she was never eliminated, I guess. Oh, okay, she hit her with her ass. Yeah, okay, I guess she wins then.
Yeah, I mean, I was just annoyed with Becky being eliminated so early. Like, I just don't understand what they're doing with her. And I'm like, I'm thinking she's definitely going to Raw because God, they've just destroyed her on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And
she was the first women's champ. She was putting everybody over. I actually thought the loss to Alexa Bliss at the time was fine. I was like, Becky will rebound from this. She's Becky. She had a little bit of time off for an injury. She had a little bit of time off she shot like a movie for them or something again, right?
Yeah.
And then she comes back and she's basically Charlotte's roadie for like the entire road to WrestleMania. Outside of her and Naomi fighting together against I don't know, Women Evolution. Which one is on SmackDown? I forget.
Riot Squad.
Yeah, Riot Squad. Yeah, right. Not Mandy and an MMA chick.
Not yet.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I don't understand, and it always bothers me. And I don't care. Sometimes even if it's the guy I like or whatever, or the gal I like, I shouldn't say guy. I don't like it when somebody that's had no impact whatsoever on a battle royal wins the battle royal. Excuse me.
Oh, you mean like when Roman Reigns was laying on the sideline the whole Royal Rumble and then won it?
Well, yeah. I mean, they've proven him to be a Royal Rumble specialist with a beating Kane's record and all that kind of stuff the year before, anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever. Yeah. Let's not use this as an opportunity to bash Roman. There's plenty of that later.
No, but I'm with you there. I mean, like I was just really annoyed with Becky. Naomi eliminated her, then disappeared from the match, and you had the Sasha Bailey moment, and you're like, oh, cool, and all right, finally Bailey gets the upper hand, and
yeah,
she stood up.
Bailey did something.
Yeah, Bailey did something. She stood up for herself, and she's not taking Sasha's shit or not believing her, whatever she's doing.
Yeah, and if she comes away with that win, she did something. She accomplished something. She exercised the demons of her, best friend who stabs her in the back. Right?
Mm-hmm.
She finally stood up to that. She won this, this new, I don't know, trophy, I guess, thing, mid job. No longer the moolah, right? Because she apparently was a pimp, and that's not cool anymore. So what do you do with Naomi for this? More glow?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. This is like, what does the winning the battle royal do for Naomi? Like nothing. Like
no, I
at
mean,
least with Bailey, it's like, okay, she accomplished something, and it moves the storyline of her and Sasha forward. But then I don't know, like something better happened, or else Naomi might become Mojo Rawley. Like,
yeah.
Well, I think she may move to Raw. I think that's part because I'm pretty sure the Usos. I don't know if both the Usos and the New Day are going, but I got to figure one of them is moving to Raw. And I'm guessing if Usos move, she's going to move. So
probably.
we'll see. I don't know if they want to split the husband and wife up. So we'll see. Anywho, let's get to the main card now. So we open with the IC title match with Rollins, Miz, and Balor.
Really good.
Yeah, this was a really good match. I love the entrance with Rollins with the blue contacts and the outfit. He always comes out with something cool for WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and one of the loudest burn it downs you ever heard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Miz, and I like Miz. Miz was like, got rid of Miz Taraj said, I'm going to handle this by myself. And then Balor came out with his LBGT rainbow people and all that. So it was a really good match, though. I wasn't sure how they were going to top the match from last week, especially with the Miz added in, how it was going to be, but I think they did, to be honest. I think they did surpass that match.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Miz and the triple threat aspect gives it another element too, right? Because yes, both guys can shine in the back and forth, but they can shine even more when, let's say Balor's knocked out of the ring and Seth beats up on Miz, right? And then Seth's knocked out of the ring and Balor beats up on Miz. It gives that extra ability to shine, and nobody puts over people better, I think, than the Miz right now.
Yeah, Miz is probably one of the safest, smartest workers now. He's the safest worker, and he just knows how to get people over at this point.
And he takes abuse. He just takes abuse in his matches. He has his moves. He has his shine. He cheats to win or whatever the case may be. But you have good matches with the Miz usually.
This is true. Yeah. I think first of all, I think that triple threat match is probably like top 3 matches of this year's Mania. Like I was like, it was the first match on the card, and I was like, how are we gonna top this match right here?
I was hyped for it, yeah.
I thought it was the perfect opening match too.
Yeah.
Because it's like you didn't want it to be Nakamura and Bryan. That was everyone's big. I mean, I'm sorry, and AJ. That was everyone's big concern. So I was glad they went with that because I was afraid they were going to go with the U.S. title match, and I don't think many people cared that much about it.
Yeah.
And this was just better. You got two wrestlers who can really go and a good seller, just a smart all around worker in the Miz. So it was the perfect match to open the night with.
Yeah.
And happy Seth won. I don't know, you guys were okay with Seth winning?
Oh yeah.
I thought either Seth was gonna win or they just let the Miz break the record.
Well, I think if Miz didn't have the baby, there was a chance they would have. But I think because they're saying, "Hey, go hang out with your kid for a couple of weeks," I don't even know if they'll keep him on TV for the next couple of weeks or he's just doing Raws and going home. Whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we had the women's SmackDown title. Charlotte defending against Asuka. Charlotte had the most amazing entrance I can remember seeing in a long ass time.
Mm-hmm.
And I got chills hearing Ric Flair's music with her and her sitting on the crown and being on the throne and being an old gold. It was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched it just to see it again the other day. Just like I got the same feeling.
It was a really good entrance, yeah. And see, to me, back in the day, that's what WrestleMania was about, right? Like the entrances, right? The grandiose, over the top entrances and the grandeur and the spectacle, right? That's what I love about Mania. Like they put on some good matches, and the past few years, a lot of it's been centered around like Taker and some of the retirings of like Flair and Shawn and stuff like that, but. Even going back to when Cena had all the guys in his outfit and they were all doing the salute and he ran down through them and stuff. Rusev with the tank and stuff like that. That's the callbacks to those are the entrances I love, and that's how I liked, especially early on with the IC title and with Flair. Great entrances, and I was happy to see some of those come back.
Yep. I will say this though, I was telling Frank earlier, the only problem I had with the Charlotte Asuka match is that the finish just seemed a little bit rushed. I would have liked, because if you think about, if you just follow the journey of Asuka's, just about a month ago, she was fighting Nia Jax, who's the biggest woman on the roster, probably her biggest obstacle yet. And then you have Charlotte, who's probably Asuka's equal athletically. But as far as sheer power and size, she's not dealing out as much damage as Nia Jax. So just me thinking of Asuka the character, if she can beat Nia Jax, why couldn't she, take what Charlotte was dishing out in the figure eight? It was just one figure eight and she tapped. So I'm just thinking I would have liked to see Charlotte earn the win a little bit more. I know it sounds weird because it's Charlotte, but just
I hear what you're saying.
Dish out a little bit more damage to Asuka. Have Asuka get out of the move and then you reapply it later on or something like that.
Yeah, or hit her with was it the natural selection or something to lead up to it or something. Yeah, I mean, I did I think it was the war of attrition that kind of happened before it. I mean, there was the suplex to the floor right outside of the ring. They hit the Spanish fly. I mean, these were some pretty legit moves that these girls were pulling off. Sure. I kind of attributed it to that, but yeah, I was surprised at the time that it did, and then she tapped. I thought for sure this was they're gonna, she could only hold it with one arm, so she really couldn't lock it in fully. So Asuka was able to reverse it, and then again, if Charlotte was gonna win, she would have to hit, something else, and then try it again, or maybe Asuka's just gonna figure out a way to get around it, and the shoulder and the arm is eventually gonna catch up to Charlotte.
Yeah,
but yeah, so. Yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying. I didn't mind it, again, because of the war that they put each other through before that, but I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the finish was, like you said, it came out of nowhere. It was a little weak because she didn't have it fully on, and why would she tap if it wasn't fully on? I think a better finish would have been maybe just a roll up if they were going to go that route to catch her off guard or something. Because I don't know. It was that moment wasn't built up to. I felt like that's the problem. That was the problem I think with the big matches. They didn't build up to the finishes the right way, and they just kind of came out of nowhere where you were not expecting them.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt I understand what you guys are saying about that, and like I said at the time, I didn't think that figure eight was going to be the one that did it, but I don't know, man. I think too, man. Maybe we're putting too much on these matches, right? Seeing Charlotte doing, the backflip off the top rope against like Natalia matches, and I know she's done that a couple times against maybe Sasha and stuff, and when they had their back and forth. This was a different match. This was more ground and pound. And think about too, there were a lot of pin attempts or submission attempts before that too.
True.
Charlotte had, hit her with the spear and tried to pin her, and Asuka kicked out, stuff like that. I mean, how many girls, kick out of Charlotte's spear?
Yeah, and I gotta say the moonsault into and her catching her and putting her into submission, that was picture perfect. Like that was amazing.
Yeah,
she did that. So I mean, it was a hard hitting match. Like I remember watching it going with, wow, they were really going into each other.
Yeah, that's the other thing, and also too, sometimes we fall too in love with like these big moves. This was a really good match. This was a little bit more ground and pound maybe than we're used to, but maybe we shouldn't be used to 20 moonsaults and 15 finishers and stuff like that.
True, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Especially with the women. I mean, Asuka and Charlotte can go, right? Becky can go. I feel confident with Natalia in the ring. She's not as quick or as flashy as the other girls, but I know she can wrestle, and I know that people are going to be safe with her. For the most part, I think I trust Bayley, but like Sasha, Alexa, even Nia. I mean, how many matches with some of these girls can you pull off like this?
No, it's true. Oh, and so what'd you guys think of just Charlotte winning? Period. I mean, that was a big shock, ending the streak.
No, I feel like if any woman on the roster is gonna beat Asuka, it was gonna be Charlotte. Like I don't know if I would have believed anybody else beating Asuka at this point.
Yeah.
No,
I agree. And I'm glad they went this way without because like I know Bliss had a hard time against Nia also, but can you imagine a situation where Bliss would be the one to beat Asuka or anything like that? I mean, I think you'd leave that match, being angry at it almost,
Yeah.
But I think this is the one, like you said, the one person, or maybe if they built up to it, Becky. I could have seen it if they wanted to really put Nia over at some point, which is what I actually thought was going to happen. Was Asuka was going to beat Charlotte here, and then Nia was going to beat her, at an upcoming pay-per-view. But I'm glad they went this way. I think Charlotte was the best person to do it, and I think at least from what it seemed like, in the when Asuka grabbed the mic and everything, it seems like they respect each other. So, and who knows? Maybe Asuka said, "Look, I'm not dropping this streak to anybody but her."
True.
Could be. My concern is where does she go from here?
Who, Asuka?
Yeah, because I feel like her whole thing was the streak, and they haven't made her feel much special aside from that.
Well, now they can concentrate on just her being a kick-ass wrestler.
Yeah, so it's something.
Yeah, I feel like it's a fresh start for her at this point. Like after WrestleMania is a restart button, so it's a restart button for Asuka too. And she's a dope wrestler, so I think she'll be fine.
And then also too, which showed because technically she never moved, it seemed, to SmackDown.
No.
So technically she's still on Raw, it seems. But also too, with the shakeup, who knows? Maybe you are going to put her on SmackDown, and maybe she goes right back after the belt, and they have one of these epic feuds, and the belt changes hands a couple times, and then maybe Becky or somebody like that gets in the mix, or Bailey or Sasha or something like that, depending on who's on what shows.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, obviously the title is in different hands now, so we'll have to discuss that later on the next show. But
Sure.
we'll get to that later on. All right.
Also, can I just add on top of the Oscar? I think she's better off now that she can have a feud with other women without the streak looming over everybody's head. Like she could put someone else over, and then it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe they learn from their mistakes with Brock and not to do these freaking streaks and people not losing for a whole year.
Well, look how awful, and look, she came a long way as a wrestler. I respect her coming back from injury and all that kind of stuff, but look how awful Nikki Bella's run was because they were trying to make her beat AJ's streak. How many weeks that were they just stalling and stalling and stalling, and then she'd have a bad matchup with, I don't know, Alicia Fox or something, and it's like, it's just because you needed her to keep the belt, and she faced everybody already. Like, what do you do then?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the Brock Lesnar situation too. Now, granted, I'm happy that Seth and Finn Balor killed it, and Seth is the Intercontinental Champion. But there's no reason that Seth Rollins, I'm sorry, Mr. Monday Night Rollins, or Finn Balor shouldn't be in the mix for the title. And it's just an impossibility because Brock has it. It's just frustrating.
Yeah. I'm with you there. All right. Next match was the SmackDown Tag Championships. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, it was I'm trying to go in order. Oh, it was the US title match, sorry. It was Jinder and Rusev, Orton, and Rude.
Yes.
In the 4-way match.
It was a pretty good match. Lots of back and forth. I enjoyed that aspect of it. I don't necessarily get Jinder winning, and it's not who I would have liked. Again, we're gonna have to see how I'm not gonna hate the decision until we see what plays out with the superstar shakeup. But I don't know. For me, it was a little bit of a deflate at the end of the match, and it just kind of goes down as one of those matches where it's like, all right, it was there, it was fine, it was fun. I guess Jinder's champ. It was like the Naomi win. Like, I actually kind of enjoyed bits and pieces of that women's match, and then the swerve, so to speak, and it left me deflated. I've kind of felt the same way in this one, but the match was pretty good.
Yeah, match was all right. I was okay with Jinder winning because probably what he should have won a year ago instead of the WWE Championship. But
winning it now doesn't erase the fact that they did it.
No, but I think it's a good way to do it if you want to go that route. I mean, I really wish they would have just given it to Rusev and given him something with how over he is right now. And
exactly.
This whole freaking stadium chanting Rusev Day, but I mean, as we see every day, it's just getting worse and worse for this guy, and I don't know what's really going on backstage. But
oh yeah, supposedly Jericho is replacing him as Taker's opponent now.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
Yeah, and the reason is because of his tweet that he put out about getting buried, which I don't really understand because it's kind of a joke. Like, I don't understand what the big deal with him saying that is, because Undertaker's going to win the match. He's going to bury him, so. But he wasn't saying it in a smart way, I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
And who's going to complain about wrestling the Undertaker? You wrestle the Undertaker, you're getting a rub from him. It's not a bad thing ever.
I wouldn't think so.
Not even to get squashed by him. So I don't get it.
I think this is just coming down to maybe he opened up his mouth the wrong time at the wrong thing at the wrong time kind of situation. Wrong place, wrong time, I guess. And it's I don't know. The place would have gone crazy if they put it on Rusev.
Oh yeah.
I also would have been fine with, and I was actually almost hoping along the lines of this is you have Rude win. Let's say at the next pay-per-view, Randy gets his rematch clause and Rude retains. Rusev, let's say, beats what's his name, Jinder, for the number one contendership moving forward, and then you can have a double turn where Rude turns heel, and they finally put Rusev over as a face, and you can have him win the belt, or you can have Rude to cheat to keep the belt, and the chase begins in the whole 9 yards. Because you can easily have Rusev go either way. He can still be, monster heel with a little bit of comedy with Aiden English, or you can have them go completely comedy route and have him be a face and, give him a good run. And they're doing neither, apparently. So, what do I know?
Well, what'd you think?
To be honest, I don't remember much about that U.S. title match.
Can't blame him.
I remember Jinder winning and not caring, but I don't know. If Rusev had won, I would have cared.
Yeah,
I'll say that. Rusev or Bobby Roode. Those were like my only two options. I think maybe they put it on Jinder just because he was a world champ, and you need to and they still have money in him for India, I guess.
Yeah.
So they just wanted to keep him relevant, I guess. Yeah. But when you have someone like Rusev, who's just like the most charismatic I've ever seen him. It's just like when they came out for their entrance in that match, like that was the loudest Rusev Day I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Rusev, and we'll see what happens with the U.S. title.
Who knows? Remember this?
I suggest we put it on The Miz, and The Miz can make it the most relevant title.
Don't worry, Jinder's going to be Grand Slam champion soon.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Let's see. All right, so none of us were too thrilled with that match. Sense. Yeah. All right, now on to what may have been the best match of the night.
Oh.
Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle versus Stephanie and Triple H.
Yeah, this was good old school wrestling, storytelling and wrestling and the back and forth. I thought Stephanie early on was great. Kind of getting under Rousey's skin. Pulling the hair, doing the cheap shots, perfect heel stuff. Her calling for Hunter when it looked like she was going to get the tag. Her having a good showing, right? Steph didn't embarrass herself.
They're very good.
And then at the end with the armbar and it's coming and it's like she finally gets the fingers apart and Steph's like, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." And she just goes into the armbar and it was great. Perfect all the way through. This was again. And this is I know, everybody loved making fun of the whole shovel joke and putting all the belts and memes on Triple H, but this is just what you come to expect for a Triple H match, man. It's going to be solid. It's going to deliver a story. And, if anybody's still doubting Triple H at this point, I don't know. Did he step on some people to get to where he was? Yeah. Name me a wrestler that wouldn't or hasn't. Oh, he banged the boss's daughter. Okay. Would you rather him bang China? I mean, if you were Triple H, who would you bang?
Stephanie.
Thank you.
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
And then there the story goes. Rest in peace, China. I don't mean to talk ill of the dead, but I'm just saying some things happen.
Yeah, so Ronda, I thought impressed. Like I said, when I opened the show up, I thought she was so impressive. She just came in like a pro.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, for someone who's been training only a year, I just did not expect what she did. She just had all the intangibles, all the little thing. Her timing was perfect. She didn't botch anything, it looked like.
Well, there was the one sequence with Steph that kind of got botched.
Okay.
Not saying it was her fault per se, but
she's working with a non-wrestler. I mean, not for nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. Dude, I agree with you. She performed. She came through. She exceeded expectations. But I don't know. Everybody thought she was gonna come in and be terrible. I didn't. I thought. Look, the aggressiveness, the punches, the going after Triple H, that whole the whole 9 yards. Yeah, that was fun and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't expect her to suck in the ring. I expected her to do some things.
Here's my thinking. The girl hasn't had a real match that lasted more than 3 minutes in probably like 10 years. Probably since she won the Olympic gold medal, to be honest.
Okay.
Every one of the matches was over in the first round, maybe the beginning of the second when she was. So I was worried about her stamina, keeping up, things like that, and just if she would have a big moveset. Because honestly, we've never seen her do more than just attack you, get you on the ground, and do the armbar. So I didn't know how athletic she was, and that we really got to see how athletic she was and all the things she's capable of.
Yeah,
and she has the facial down with the smiling, and then going to the mean face, to the fighting face.
I still think she smiles too much.
Oh yeah, way too much.
You guys already know how I feel about her smiling.
Yeah. But I mean, it works. Like
she's got to. You know what it is? She's got it down when she's in the ring. When she's walking the ramp, she's still a fan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's too giddy.
Hopefully she'll get rid of it soon. I mean, hopefully she'll get it down and whatever.
Unless they make it a gimmick. Unless they make it a gimmick where she's being super smiley on purpose to hide the fact that she's I don't know, but
I get what you're saying. Like she's kicked so much butt in the UFC for so long. She just wants to smile and enjoy.
Yeah, right. Some kind of goofy story like that. Whatever.
I don't know. I thought this was like the perfect match to. Well, first of all, this is like the perfect wrestling match to showcase the E in WWE. It was very entertaining.
Yeah.
And I think it was the perfect match to showcase what she can do, but protect her from her inexperience.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, that was the point of it. And the one thing I like, because we all know we watch MMA. MMA, it's always try to get the move on as quick as possible, get the person to tap out. But now she has to go a different route. She has to sell the getting her in the arm bar and make it last longer so everyone can see it and feel it. And then when she does it, and she did that. She grabs the arm and she stretches it out. Like I thought what she did on Raw was good. We'll get to that, whatever. But I thought the way she did that was perfect when she took the cast off and then broke the arm and did it that way. But she's teasing it, and even Stephanie blocking it a little, teasing us of what she's really going to get it on her. So I did enjoy that. It was like I remember Alberto Del Rio, when he would do it, he would just do it and get it on quick, and it'd be 1, 2, 3 done. Here, person has to tap out.
Yeah, and again, we'll see how she plays out as a singles wrestler, how often she wrestles, and what route they're going to go with her, right? I mean, saying she's full time is one thing. Saying that she's going to wrestle full time, that's going to be another. And we'll see. She got her feet wet here. There's a shakeup, and there's everything going on. Who knows what's going to go on? I'm assuming at some point too, Baszler's going to come up, and they're probably going to get together and do a little stable or something.
Yeah. I was just talking to my brother about that the other day.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that would be great, because I'm actually think that would be great for Dana coming up. It's her buddy, it's her friend, but she's kind of jealous because Ronda's the star. But Dana just has this thing about this aura about her that she's just a real badass. She just has this real badass look.
Yeah.
More so than Ronda does.
Yeah. And you can absolutely play the storyline up as like, why did you get called right to WrestleMania? I had to work my ass off in NXT, and you get called right to WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Yeah. So whether you want to set it up as a feud or a stable then a feud, or a feud then a stable, who the fuck knows?
You could even play up the whole fact that Shayna Baszler is way more. At least she comes off as more serious than Ronda Rousey right now.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, we both came from like the same background. Why are you smiling so much? Like, you don't need friends. I'm your friend, or something like that.
You've gone Hollywood and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, but great debut, great performance. I want to add, I love the stuff where Triple H and her went at it. I thought that was great. And Triple H selling that.
Yes, perfect.
That was done awesome. And she even sold good. She did everything well. It wasn't really anything she did bad.
Though it was weird that in that one spot where Triple H was about to do a pedigree, but then he went for a power bomb.
Yeah.
But I let it slide.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know whether that was an audible at the time or what, but yeah, I don't know.
Oh, and let's give a little mention to Kurt Angle. He was perfect. He didn't mess up at all. He looked great. He did his part.
His eye.
Hmm?
Except his eye.
Except his eye.
He got hit bad on the eye.
Oh, did he?
His eye was super red at the end of the match.
Oh yeah, it was.
I don't know if it was like when he went to tackle Rousey, if he caught her shoulder in the eye or something, but I know it. I don't know exactly where it happened, but I know at one point he gets up and he's like they're going to celebrate for the match. And he's got this big red spot from like his eyebrow to like the top of his cheek. I was just like, oh,
Triple H taking liberties for sleeping with his wife.
Yeah, right.
All right. Next on the list, we had the SmackDown Tag Titles with the Bludgeon Brothers, the Usos, and the New Day.
Yeah, good match. I thought it was the right move putting the belt on the Bludgeon Brothers here. I did talk of a way you could make them chase it if they didn't come away here because they didn't necessarily need to get pinned. But they've been dominant. They've looked great. Why not put the belts on them?
I agree. I just thought it was. I wish they got more time. I don't feel they got to do all the stuff they could have done. It felt more like a squash match, to be honest. But it served the purpose that it got the belts on these guys, and hopefully they do something with them now.
Yeah, and also too, man. Look at Randy Orton. Randy Orton went how many years without having a WrestleMania moment? No matter how many WrestleManias he was in, right? This was the first, WrestleMania for the Usos. I thought they did fine. For what the match was worth, they got in some stuff. New Day got in some stuff, but Bludgeon Brothers proved to be too much to handle. Excuse me, like they have been the whole time. So,
yeah, at first I thought maybe they didn't get enough time. Like, oh my god, that's a quick match. But then I really thought about it. Like, they're the Bludgeon Brothers, and they've been bludgeoning. And
yeah.
And what they did at the last pay-per-view, like, why wouldn't they win a match this quick?
Yeah. And they dominated for the few matches, the few high-profile matches that they had on Raw or their time on Raw. I mean, SmackDown. They've been dominant then too. So, yeah, this is just one of those things. It made perfect sense. Would you have liked them to have longer? Yes, but when you have a card that's stacked, not every match can be 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, so next we had, we didn't really bring this up earlier, but so Cena was in the crowd the whole night, beginning of the night. Then the ref walks down at the end of the Charlotte Asuka match, and he runs up the stairs. I don't know why they couldn't wait to do this until the match was officially ending, and Charlotte and Asuka were already gone, but
yeah,
they just love spoiling women's moments for some reason. I don't know what it is with them.
It's Vince's little chuckle at the end. Yeah, women's revolution. Love it. What was that? What was that laugh? Nothing. Like, what? No, seriously, why are you laughing like that at the end? No reason. I have no alternative motives. Like, fuck.
Dad, what are you doing?
Mom! Elo!
I don't know. When I saw the ref run out, I just pictured like Vince just saying, last time we broke a streak, it was just quiet. Go quick, distract them. Like, get Cena. Tell them everybody pay attention. They love Cena. Don't watch them. Yeah.
And also too, here's a perfect. So we talk so much about, and at least I know, I did not like the Undertaker losing. I did not like it to be to Brock. And everybody's like, "Oh, well, it's shock value. You can't get shocked anymore. It did the perfect thing. That was the only way you could do." That whole intelligent argument. I was shocked that Charlotte won.
Yeah,
but nobody's sitting there going like, "Oh my god."
You have the yes guy face. Yeah.
oh my God, I can't believe they just did that. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe they just did that. That's awesome. Not like, holy shit, you killed my childhood. You know, there are ways that you can shock people without fucking ruining shit. You know, it's just actually, it's not even for the fact that the Undertaker's losing. It's for the rub that somebody's going to get when they beat Brock. Yeah. Tell me more about that story. I got another story that I heard about. Damian Sandow was going to be better because he lost his Money in the Bank to John Cena. Yeah. That. Tell me about that again.
Poor guy. His career died from there. He's not even wrestling anymore.
Poor guy.
All right. So the match, the segment, let's say the segment, not even the match. The segment starts off with John Cena coming out.
Oh.
He's in an outfit. He's like, wait till you see what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. The stupid freaking towel slogan crap he does. Then the ref walks out and I guess he tells him, oh, we were wrong. Undertaker's really not here. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Then Elias comes out, does his little spiel, this segment, destroys him. And
here's the other thing too, just going back just for a second so we don't backtrack later.
mm-hmm.
You mentioned the whole thing about how, like, oh, why did they do it at Asuka and Charlotte? Also, too, a referee comes running down to John Cena the fan sitting in the crowd because he's a fan. John Cena the fan, because he's totally fine with just being a fan. Referee runs down to John Cena sitting in the crowd. John Cena gets up, runs to the back. First off, you let a fan in the backstage. First mistake. Second off, you didn't have one. It's WrestleMania. You didn't have one cameraman go, oh shit, John Cena's running to the back. I should probably catch this on film. 2, 3, however many matches go by, we don't even hear a fucking backstage segment, an interview, an interviewer not having an interview, but just saying, we saw John Cena run into that room. The door is closed. He's not answering. We'll see what happens next. There was nothing. None of that. Why did you have to do it then?
Yeah, why did Michael Cole at least tell us what happened? He should have been told from backstage. Oh, Cena ran backstage because he heard the Undertaker was here. Something. Tell us something.
Anything to give any kind of credence to why John Cena ran into the back and why a man who was just there as a fan gets to dress in the locker room.
And the funniest thing was he was in like regular jeans and pants. I don't think I've ever seen him in like that on WWE TV.
Yeah.
That was
God, every time they panned over to him too, like, oh, I am clapping. That was a spectacular move. I am John Cena. Just
oh, you can see me now.
We made the joke about the drinking game. Take a shot every time they mention Cena's there as a fan. Finish your beer every time they pan to him in the crowd or something like that.
Oh
fucking you'd be dead.
Yeah, he was like, "Don't do that. You're gonna die."
I wanted to try.
Anyway, all right. So let's get back. So Elias walks. The lights go dark. Everyone goes crazy. And you hear Elias's music hit. Well, the guitar hit.
Mm-hmm.
Were you expecting somebody else?
Yeah.
And then went into his spiel, and it was pretty good for a while. And then Cena took him out and whatever. And he's walking to the back, and then finally Undertaker's music hits, and he does his entrance. To the disappointment of a lot of people, Biker Taker did not return. He was the real Undertaker.
Yeah.
And basically, I guess you could say hit his 5 moves of doom on John Cena. But Cena sold everything well. When Taker woke up and he looked like he saw a ghost or something.
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker took one bump. He looked great. He had all his moves. Like he actually hit the jumping clothesline, which I haven't seen him do in a long time.
Mm.
And 1, 2, 3 match was done in less than 5 minutes. So
yeah,
it was well done, and I understand now why they did the storyline the way they did and why they didn't announce the match. And it made sense. And listen, I was satisfied. I got to see Cena get squashed. Made my year.
No. Why'd you unretire the Taker? Oh, the lights are on. Remember the glove and the hat and the dude? Oh, the lights went out. Oh my God, the stuff is gone. Oh my God, the Taker's there. Oh. So tell me again, Roman, how you retired Taker. Oh, wait, you didn't? All right. Well, at least you got the rub from Brock because Brock beat Taker, right? Oh, you didn't get that either. Oh, okay. I don't know. I had no interest in this feud leading up to it. I was kind of okay thinking like, all right, maybe they'll bring back Biker Taker because, Undertaker is retired. Maybe John Cena retires this character, whatever. Maybe he just comes, maybe he just beats the shit out of him and leaves and whatever. But I don't know. To unretire the Undertaker just to do a squash match against John Cena. And this isn't the end of it, which means we're going to see John Cena versus Taker at SummerSlam or next year's Mania, career versus legacy or something like that. I don't know. Nothing about this intrigued me. At least if he came back as Biker Taker, it's kind of like, look, I'm just fucking trying to sit home like an old man, and you're fucking pissing me off. But no, a dead man. Okay.
So Jamal, you're the tiebreaker. What do you think?
I didn't expect much. This is like pretty much it played out exactly how I expected it. It was fun. It's always fun to see Taker be Taker, but I agree with that. Like I would have liked him to stay retired. It didn't add to anything. It didn't serve a purpose. It was just like, hey, it's Taker, he's back, and then having Michael Cole shout, Undertaker's back. And I was just like guys, I was hoping it was just a one-off thing, so he can have one more, retire with a win or something like that. And then Michael Cole yelling Undertaker's back just has me worried. And then I'm hearing that, he's wrestling at the event in Saudi Arabia. It's like, oh God, he really is back.
Yeah, I just feel like he's become Ric Flair. He's just never going to retire and never stop wrestling as long as he can go. And it's just going to be it. It seems like all these old school guys just can't retire. None of them can retire.
See, I think this is the one that fucking I think Vince has finally gotten his hands on the urn. He legitimately won't it's like fucking Pinocchio, right? He's pulling the strings. Only Pinocchio's a real boy now. I don't know.
I mean, I read an article where I don't know who it was from, or I don't think it was legit or anything, but somebody wrote that Cena said, I want to wrestle Undertaker, and Vince said, okay, if you can convince him to come out and do the match with you, fine. But I'm not telling him to do it, so it's up to you to get him to do it.
Yeah, and it felt like that. It felt like fucking John Cena booking.
Anyway, that one was what it was. All right. Next up was the other good match. Daniel Bryan's return with Shane McMahon versus KO and Sami Zayn for their jobs. I liked what they did here. I liked the Daniel Bryan attack in the beginning. He got his little moment, and then the other two just came out, attacked him, and took him out of the match. I felt it was a little too long for Shane to be taking the beating and going alone, especially after the diverticulitis, hernia. I don't know if this was a work or real injury at this point. I mean, but he sold it well. But you could tell he just wasn't. You could tell he wasn't 100%. I don't think that was selling because he's not that good a performer. And he hits the coast to coast, and they sold it, and then I don't know. Even the tag, the hot tag wasn't like a hot tag. It was so slow done. He was using the ropes to get up to him. He tags him, and then Bryan slowly is getting in the ring.
Yeah, it's like the guy that could barely crawl up to the ring just got tagged. Oh no, I'm scared. And then the guy's like, "Oh yeah, he's scared of me. I should act like I'm mean now." That's what it kind of looked like.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jamal, what'd you think of the match?
It was good. It was fun. And just I like the ending. I didn't expect. I was expecting KO and Sami Zayn to win.
Okay.
Just because to get reinstated or whatever. So I like that. But every time they can fool me, I enjoy it. Okay. But just like you guys, seeing Shane in the ring for that long, it was just, I don't know, it was hard to watch a little bit. She was like, geez, the guy is injured and he's taking the brunt of this match. It's like, let's see more of Daniel Bryan. I get it. You want to protect the guy who's been injured for the past 3 years.
Sure.
But Like if you're gonna have him pull a Mick Foley and come back out after you stretcher him out, like do it sooner. Like,
yes, I agree. Yeah, that was my only downside to this match was the amount of time that they went with Shane. I love the beginning. Like Shane the hothead, he's going to go in there against the two of them, and then, oh my God, look at him. He's throwing lefts and rights. He's throwing knees, and he's doing kicks and stuff. But and I enjoyed, too, that every time he did something, then he grabbed himself, right? And then he would do something else, and then he knocked down that guy. But he'd grab himself. And then finally, KO got to him and knocked him over, and then the beatdown begins. But then the beatdown just kept going. And then he had like another little spurt, and then the beatdown just kept going. And then there wasn't like this crazy hot tag where it's like, Daniel Bryan runs down and he's sitting on the ropes and he's doing the Ultimate Warrior and he just wants to get tagged in. It was like, come on, Shane, I'm here for you. And it's like tag, and it's like, and it's like, I'm going to get in the ring and I'm going to kick everybody's ass. It's like, oh shit, okay. And it was cool to see, and it was great to see Bryan throwing the kicks and doing the end-to-end with Sammy and KO in the corners and stuff. This is a match that you could have probably shortened, like if you didn't leave Shane out there for maybe 5 minutes less, so the whole match is just 5 minutes smaller.
Yeah,
I think that would have been literally the perfect storm for this match. I would have liked, though, of the hot tag a little bit more than what they did, but I was okay with what they did. Just it felt a little bit long, like you said, getting there.
Yeah, and but once Bryan got in the ring, got in the match, it was just fun, and he hit all his signature.
And it was electric again too.
Yeah,
I mean, he's Daniel Bryan,
and he just knows. I mean, like we've said a million times, the guy just connects with the crowd on a level like no one since The Rock and Austin. To be honest, I mean, it's just something special.
And you can't teach that.
No, you can't. And even when he did the yes chant sitting in the corner, like that's his new thing, I guess he does now. He just does the slow yes chant to get the crowd on the same level so they're not messing up doing the yes chant. And
yeah, it's like 17 different yes chants going at one time.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Because there's nothing worse than a let's go. Like it's like they're like overlapping each other, and you're just like, no, guys, come on. Section 17 and 19, get your shit together. Get on the same page.
But it was a cool, happy ending at the end. It was nice, and I even liked the moment where he went to hug Brie after the end of the match in the crowd. So that was pretty cool.
It's cute.
Nice little moment.
Fight for your dreams. I'll fight for you.
Yeah,
it's adorable.
Basically. Oh, I realized I skipped over something. We didn't talk about the Cruiserweight title match at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good match. It was what it was.
I don't think I really watched it at all, so I really can't comment.
Cute. It was cute. Yeah, I was still kind of getting my shit together for it. Yeah, I mean, look, Cedric Alexander, since the Cruiserweight Classic, people have been wanting this guy to just break out, right? And they gave it to him early, but then stripped him. And that's when 205 Live really started losing its direction a little bit. And then they started putting him in the storylines with Alicia Fox and Noam Dar. And it was just like you muddled his character down to these like nonsense storylines. And what's really good about him is he can get beat up all match and then come back and hit a few moves and you love it, Bogging him down with too much of the bullshit, I think, is where they lost their direction. And that's why I think 205 Live wasn't really translating for what they were doing on Raw with the matches and what 205 Live was trying to do with their product, right? And it was just clashing. And he didn't really, I don't know, have that like breakout party. Maybe now this is it. And I like the fact that they didn't do, any kind of double turns or heel or this, like I like that you can still just have a face versus a face and somebody wins and they shake hands and then it's okay. Like nobody has to turn heel just because they're mad they lost a match,
Yeah, I like the cruiserweight match. I think the cruiserweight title match was really just to solidify the new direction 205 Live is going in. Like, it wasn't really pushing like a huge narrative storyline or any type of like beef between anybody, but like it's like
Just
okay,
two really good athletes having a really good match.
yeah. And it's just like, okay, this is what 205 Live was. This is what it is now. Pay attention, tune in. We'll see what happens in the future. And I like the direction it's going in. So I think it's going. I think they're doing some good stuff.
With Drake Maverick or whatever they call Spud now.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job, though.
Yeah, and hopefully he continues. And Cedric as champ is not a bad place to try and start something. You could have far worse.
I agree.
Definitely agree.
Now, if they can sign Neville and he comes back, and they can really put Cedric to the test there, and if not, you put it on Neville and you have somebody else chase. You have Mustafa Ali chase. Neville then, or something. I think he would be that boost that they needed because he was really what was great about the division when they had a little bit of direction. And again, they started getting too much into the storyline, and I get it. The Enzo was the perfect thing to get eyes on it, but at the same time, it also worked to the detriment because again, you have to throw so much of the storylines, and you had Enzo's posse and his good guys versus bad guys, and you never got to finish even the story that you were trying to tell because of the whole rape allegations and all that kind of stuff. So whatever. What are you going to do? Yeah, but hopefully they can rebound from that with this.
Yeah. All right. Next was the Raw Women's Title match with Nia Jax challenging Alexa Bliss.
Nia won. Move on.
This should have been a squash match. I don't think that Nia should have looked weak at all in this match, and that's the only thing that bothered me about it. That Alexa actually got some stuff in and got the upper hand a little.
Nah, I don't mind that.
But it was what it was.
The match wasn't long. Nia won. You don't because then if you squash Alexa Bliss, where does Alexa Bliss go from there?
She's fine. She's a good talker. She can,
Yeah, I feel with that. Like I feel like especially because Alexa Bliss is already small, and then but also because she has been champ for this long. Like if it was a squash match, it kind of like throws all of that out the window a little bit. At least from like the fans' perspective. Like just thinking like as a casual fan, like someone who just tunes in every once in a while, is like, oh, she's small, she could talk, but obviously if she fights someone that big, she can't back it up. Yeah. So just thinking like that, I think having Alexa show that she's a legitimate champ, and Nia Jax had to earn it even from the smaller Alexa Bliss, plays to both their characters. What only thing that's questionable is the sympathy for Nia Jax. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And like everybody was crying about the Mean Girls kind of stuff from, Alexa, especially with, the climate that we're in these days. Mm-hmm. But dude, I don't know, man. This is what heels do.
Yeah.
They make people cry. Like they take little kids' signs and rip them up. Like this, I look, should we be parading women around like they're pieces of meat? Absolutely not. But when we're just talking about characters and good guys and bad guys in the performance, entertainment, wrestling world that we're, here, you can't just lay social justice terminology down and say, good guys have to do this and bad guys can't do that, Like this is wrestling. This is a story that they're trying to tell, and it's been going on for years. That doesn't, I don't know. Like, are you going to sit there and go to Tom Cruise like, Tom, you blow up way too many planes, and the children that look up to you are going to want to blow up planes? No, you don't fucking do that because he's an actor. Yeah. Why are we holding Alexa Bliss to a different standard because she was mean and said hurtful things to somebody on camera? Okay.
And who else is going to play was gonna play a mean girl. Like Alexa Bliss is the quintessential mean girl. A 5 foot blonde white girl who used to be a cheerleader but is now a pro wrestler. She just screams condescending mean girl.
Absolutely.
I would be offended if she wasn't mean. Like
yeah. She's like every fucking character in every like She's All That or whatever movie, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking just the ultra mean bitch that you just want to hate. And you know what? She got fucking heat for being a good heel. Shocking. But
because she's not like that in real life. That's what's amazing with her.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I just like because when they cut her and Mickey cut the promo where the mic was accidentally on or whatever, and they really let loose with all the mean things, like even the Twitter timeline was like, being a heel is one thing, but Alexa Bliss went way too far. There are plenty of people with body issues, and they can't. Okay, you know what? Don't watch wrestling then. Don't watch wrestling. I don't like what's her name? Fucking the Helen Hunt. I don't like Helen Hunt. All right. I'm not gonna go and watch her movies and sit there, and if I do, I'm not gonna sit there and completely bash her for being a terrible actress.
Yeah.
I just don't fucking like her. I don't fucking watch her movies,
And also at the end of the day, WWE's a TV show, and maybe, just throwing this out there, maybe to demonstrate, to further like promote the Be a Star stuff and anti-bullying, maybe they want to show a bully and someone conquering a bully in their storylines so people can relate.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh.
Jamal, that is ridiculous. How can a TV show teach anybody anything?
I don't know.
No. You're getting confused. We can argue about all the negatives, but positives don't exist. Positives don't mean anything.
Don't get ratings. All right. So next was the dream match.
The dream match.
I'd rather have been sleeping than call that a dream match. But
oh.
All right, Nakamura versus AJ for the WWE Championship. So I was very underwhelmed by this match. I know what these two are capable of. I saw it 3 years ago. This was nowhere near that match. He was very slow moving too, which is very against what these two do, but it was the WWE style, so I get it. It was hard hitting, but I just didn't feel anything was special about it. It was, it was a good match. For anybody else, it was a good match. For these two,
yeah,
just
the hype of the dream match hurt the wrestling match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I understand what they were going for now because of the Nakamura heel turn, which I loved. I thought it was a great idea and a great move.
Mm-hmm.
But now I understand it because this isn't the only match they're going to get. They're going to have a feud and probably have another match or two.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm hoping one of those two matches is really good. And then I guess Nakamura will take the title at some point. I hope. I know that you're fearing of other things that might happen with the championship, but either way, I love the heel turn. I thought it was done great, and he really got heat early and really gave it to AJ.
Mm-hmm.
He sold it well. And for us, like big AJ marks, he won with the Styles Clash at WrestleMania to retain his championship. So
yeah,
can't really be disappointed at that at the same time.
Yeah, the build was slow. And at first I was like, oh, they're giving him time. This is awesome. And then I started looking at the time, and it was already like 11 o'clock. Almost, right? When this match was still going on. Because then it was the tag match, and that wasn't that long. And Roman Reigns was still on my TV walking around like a sad puppy after midnight. That match only ended right before midnight. It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, yes, I understand what everybody's saying with the underwhelming and these guys could have done better and all that kind of stuff. But like you said, and again, this goes back a little bit to like the expectations kind of thing, right? We kind of build up in our minds that, oh my God, AJ Styles, oh my God, Nakamura, the 3 years ago match, the this, that, and the other, dream match. you go back to the aspect of, the psychology of it. And like you said, after the heel turn and it kind of sinks in, you're almost like, oh, okay, that, the match wasn't as bad as I first thought because of what, and I think we kill ourselves with some of these expectations sometimes of stuff. I'll be perfectly honest. When Rude just came out and it was great that he was spinning around and I love his entrance and it's glorious and all that kind of stuff. But at WrestleMania, when they didn't do anything special at all, like at all, like at least have him rise up from the stage or something, it was just a really vanilla, even though it's great vanilla, it was just a vanilla entrance for Rude. That almost set me off for that match because I'm like, motherfucker, at WrestleMania, they didn't do that shit. But you know what? Charlotte's entrance was amazing. Nakamura's entrance was amazing. Seth Rollins, Triple H and staff. If I get caught up in the fact that Rude's entrance wasn't as great as I was hoping it was, if I let that turn the rest of fucking WrestleMania into shit for me, then fucking shame on me. It was a solid match. There's gonna be more. We can dream about more matches. But yeah, it took a little, especially if that's what the way they were going. Maybe they could have sped up the match a little bit. But whatever. I enjoyed it, and the heel turn and King Nakamura esque character is perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match. It did. Sometimes we get caught up in comparing it to like comparing it to New Japan sometimes. And even though I knew it wasn't going to be like that, I was hoping it could surpass it somehow. But like when the match ended, I was like, oh, this is it. But then the heel turn happened, and then I was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
I'll take that. The heel turn kind of like replaces, the rest of the time that we didn't get for the match. So
yeah,
now you're wondering like, what's Shinsuke to do? The heel turn came completely out of nowhere. So now we didn't explain it yet. So we still got to watch to see why he turned. So
I just think it was.
I guess the intrigue makes the match worth it.
And I want to touch on this too because we didn't touch on the other match, but obviously Asuka like hugged Charlotte after and said, "Oh, you were ready for me." So you figured Shinsuke's doing the same thing, and then he just turned. He just low blows AJ, like one of the worst low blows I've ever seen, like the hardest one. So I thought that was great because you thought that she was going to go the same route that Asuka went, but he went a completely different way.
Plus, he's been completely fun, quirky, whatever Nakamura so far. So why would treachery from Nakamura was probably the furthest thing from my mind at the time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Which makes it that much more perfect.
All right. So next one, I still haven't watched this. I'll let you two comment on this. Braun Strowman and Nicholas for Sheamus and Cesaro for the tag titles.
Yeah. So this started awkward and ended awkward. It was awkward throughout. The whole thing was awkward.
It was fun and awkward. Like
yeah, like there was a funness to it, and I like sometimes when wrestling doesn't have to take itself too seriously. But like at WrestleMania, especially against a team like The Bar, this was kind of like, all right, this was a little goofball. He goes out into the crowd, and here's the other thing too. If you're gonna have him go out into the crowd, can we find a seat for the kid that's not like a zigzag pattern away from the ring?
20,000 feet away.
Yeah, I don't know if Strowman like maybe missed him at first or didn't see him or wasn't going to the right direction, but it's like he goes out into the crowd, and I get it. Pretend like you're looking around because like, hey, this isn't a ref's kid. This is just some random kid from the crowd. But it like took him 5 minutes to get the kid. It's like I don't understand why they made it like seem difficult to get a kid. And they bring him into the ring, and Strowman's just doing his thing. And eventually they knock out Strowman, and for some reason he tags the kid in because he's hurt, right? He's kind of like beat up. The kid gets in the ring, kind of cowers. Cesaro looks like maybe he's going to go after the kid or whatever it was, and then Strowman tags right back in and then beats them. And it's like, oh, okay, all right. So it's one of those matches.
Yeah, and here's my thing. It's like it's fun to do that at WrestleMania, but like you said, against the bar. But if I feel like it would have been easier to swallow, and it would have been more entertaining or whatever if Strowman didn't already like bury the entire tag division a couple of weeks before, and now it's just like, all right, so who in the tag division is good now? Like if you were at WrestleMania and you was waiting for a legitimate tag match, and then you see this, and you don't know pro wrestling, and you're just like, so this is what you guys watch, like 10-year-old won the championship.
Yeah. It's hard when it's like, wrestling's fake, right? Like it's hard to say, no, it's not. It's scripted when they're like pulling kids from the crowd.
Yeah.
Winning championships.
And they're running with it. Like the kid has the championship.
Yeah. Like, see, like this would have been fine if like Slater and Rhino were champ.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, like not that I want the Ascension to be a joke, but the Ascension. Or even Tyler Breeze and Fandango, right? Breezango. Again, I think that they should legitimize these guys a little bit more. It would add depth and some kind of, better feeling for the tag division. But whatever, these guys are joke acts now, right? They're the Santino of the tag division. It'd be one thing if Braun was doing this to them, but you're doing this against one of the premier tag teams of your division right now, of either show, right? I put the bar right up there with, I mean, I want to see some stuff from the Bludgeon Brothers before I talk about how great they are, but I put the bar right up there with the Usos and the New Day as far as what they can do in the ring. Their promos have been okay, right? They're never going to be the Usos or the New Day on promos, but you know what? The New Day isn't them in the ring either. I like Big E, and everybody knows my love for Xavier Woods. Kofi's been a beast for a number of years, but these guys can't do what Cesaro and Sheamus can do in the ring.
Exactly.
And I get it. You needed something for Strowman because Waka Waka, there's no belt. But I don't know, just doing this to that division just for the sake of some fun. I don't know. There were better ways to do it. I feel like you could have made it a joke, and Kurt Hawkins was his champ or something. Like whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
At the very least, if you're gonna make it a joke, have a legitimate wrestler be his partner or something.
Yeah.
At least that way it could continue, and it wouldn't have been for nothing.
Yeah, and especially because I thought maybe Braun was going to have to defend it by himself, because obviously you can't have a kid defend it, and eventually, the bar or whoever would take it back off of him, because eventually a tag team is just going, no matter how strong the one guy is, a tag team is always going to be better than one, right? Two is better than one. If you're talking about legitimate tag teams, but they just dropped it then instead. And it's like, oh, scheduling conflicts. Ha ha ha. All right, we made a goofy joke, and where do we go with this? And why did we have the bar lose? I don't know.
Yeah, it would have been. What I thought would have been cool would have been like you have Strowman defending it by himself. You debut AOP, and then who else is gonna? What other team could beat Braun Strowman for the tag titles? You know what I mean? And then you have Sheamus and Cesaro, using their rematch clause against AOP or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then problem solved.
Yeah. No, AOP to take out, because then also too, it's not even sitting there going, oh, fucking Braun beat these guys last week. Why couldn't he beat them this? Like, authors of pain and legit, and they could put a hurting on a man no matter how big they are.
Yeah.
They could fuck around with the Incredible Hulk, I think. I don't know if they'll win, but they'll fuck around with them. Big dudes, man.
Yeah.
All right. So next we got the main event, which should not have been the main event, which was the crappiest match of the show.
The lame event.
Mm.
Roman Reigns challenging the Beast Brock Lesnar for the title.
All right.
The crowd did not give a shit about this freaking match.
Yeah.
It was like the Goldberg Hall of Fame speech. Everybody, I'm surprised half the stadium didn't walk out.
Yeah.
There was just no reaction. Like, it was funny. Like, everybody said, oh, well, Reigns always gets a reaction. Yeah, there was no reaction. The crowd did exactly what they were supposed to do if they didn't like Reigns. Give this crowd no hype, no reaction, no nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Worst booked match I've ever seen. They honestly looked like they had no idea what they were doing. And I don't know how close it was to Vince changing his mind on the finish, but you could tell they look lost this match.
I don't know. I don't know if I felt like they looked lost. I just felt like they took too much time getting there. But that's what Brock Lesnar matches is. He suplexes you, he gets up, he waits around, he suplexes you again. You get in some hits, you get in some stuff, and then he hits you with a knee or he hits you with a this, and then it's an F5, and just the matches just meander along. This one was kind of the same. Yeah, I really don't know what to think, considering you hear some of the reports that Brock goes backstage, has a heated argument with Vince, throws the belt either at the wall or at Vince depending on the story, and then he signs a new deal, and he's defending against Roman again at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view Saudi Arabia thing. I don't know what to make of this. And again, if this was just to quote unquote swerve the fans because everybody knew Roman was winning, because everybody knew Brock was going to UFC, if we did all this just so at the end of the day they could be like, haha, fooled you. Again, there's better way to pull surprises. I loved the Charlotte surprise, right? I loved when Seth Rollins cashed in at Mania. Like, those are the shocking surprises where something big happens and you're like, oh my God. When you do a shock and just for the sake of shock, because you don't know how else to book the match, I don't know. I don't see it. And then also too, you've worked Reigns this whole thing. This was the only person that this character and these promos would work against. So you're already working against yourself with Roman if you're trying to fix him in this match. Then on top of it, you have color, and then on top of it, he loses. I don't understand it. I really don't. And if this is all because they didn't want Roman to win the belt at Mania because of last year's reaction and the year before that and the fucking Rumble and the this and the that. All right. You don't swerve this way because you didn't learn your lesson. If you're upset with Roman because he's not getting the reaction you want at these Manias, then stop putting him on last. Stop booking him as the main event. All right, this is 4 WrestleManias in a row that he has headlined. Okay, I don't know. This doesn't make any sense, and I don't see how this does anything to fix Roman either. I think we're just going to continue, and then he comes out the next night and conspiracies, and I don't know. And if anybody wanted to know if that was a blade job, no, that's Lesnar's elbow.
That's what the backstage argument was about, to be honest, was that he just went all in on him, and Vince hated that. Vince does not want blood like that. I mean, he looked like Ric Flair. I mean, that side of his face where he looked like bloody as hell, like the whole.
So Vince did not okay the color, and Brock just out of nowhere gave color.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I necessarily believe that.
Maybe a little. I don't think he was supposed to go to that level.
He went with a purpose. That was, and it's the same way because even what was the I don't remember if it was an interview or someone that said what he said or whatever, but it's like, oh, if you want to give somebody color, I know how to do it with the elbow. I'll just bump up whatever. Who was it that he faced and he cut them open bad?
Orton.
Was it Randy Orton?
Yes. Yeah, that was the one. That was another one of those special ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Brock's elbow, and I Roman was on the ground. He gave him two big, elbows to the head, and then cut him with the third elbow. I can't imagine if that wasn't scripted, that just would have gone down as easily as it did. Because I mean, you knew right away, man. You could pretty much hear the bone on bone.
Yeah.
It was rough.
There was a couple of points in that match where it just looked like both of those guys just like were going at it for real.
Yeah, I don't think they like it. Honestly, I don't think they like each other.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Like, and Reigns has said it. I mean, obviously Reigns is, company man in interviews, but he's kind of said, we're not friends, and when we talk about the match, it's this and that, and you walk away,
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like my opinion is, I was watching it, I was kind of shocked, surprised, confused, and I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Where are they going? But I'm just angry because I'm like, you sacrificed a whole year for this.
Yeah.
You sacrificed Brock being the champion, building this match from the day after WrestleMania last year. It was rumored already that this is the main event for WrestleMania next year. You build to it. You're making Roman strong. He kicks out of fucking 5 F5s. No one else was allowed to kick out of 1. This guy can kick out of 5.
Yeah.
Gets pinned on the 6th one and still loses.
And see, this would have been the perfect storyline if you were trying to get Roman over as like the sympathetic face, and he was trying to up for the challenge, whatever he, like the Goldberg, who's next, right? It was Roman Reigns up, and I mean, you could come away from that match being like, man, that guy kicked out of 5 F5s, dude. Nobody's ever kicked out of 1. He kicked out of 5. Can you believe that? Dude, Brock split his head open and he still, got crazy and almost won. Man, that guy, he really came through. He impressed me. But no, you've been working this badass Samoan who's ready to punch Jason Jordan in the face just for showing up in the room. And you've made him still the top face somehow, but fucking angry and just meh, Roman Reigns all the time.
Yeah, he needs to.
But then he gets up there and he talks about being a leader to the boys in the back, and the boys don't like him, and the boys is this, and Vince's boy, and I'm gonna be the one for the locker room, and blah 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 blah. And you've done this, and you've built this, and then this.
Yeah, he walks around like he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's angry all the time. He's always pissed off.
Which would make perfect sense if he was a heel.
I don't get it. I mean, listen, I think that for that one promo he had where we all said it was the best, and then he comes back the next week saying, "Oh, Brock's your boy." Like, the writers just fucked this up so bad. I thought they were going
the U.S. Marshals, and again, you can't just slap the Stone Cold Band-Aid on any feud or any wrestler and then just do it that way and they'll get over because, Austin did it. This is a fucking different fucking animal, man.
Like, it's only like he's remembering parts of the Attitude Era of what happened. That moment was built up to so much for like 3 months that when it finally culminated and Austin did that, the building in Detroit was shaking. I still remember the interview where the security guy said didn't feel like this when the Red Wings won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Like, the building was literally swaying back and forth. of how crazy it was in that. That moment was built up to for like 2 months. I remember that feud, how it was. Where, he lost the title, then they stripped it of him and he had to count him out. And then he said, I'm going to just give it to these people. Like, it was really built up to that moment. You can't just create it on one night just like that.
Yeah, but not even like Roman's recent booking, but I'll even go as far as to say, like, even Roman versus Brock Part 1 a couple of WrestleManias ago was a little bit better than this one.
Yeah.
But, like, if it wasn't for Seth cashing it really looked like Roman was going to beat Brock. The fans are going to be pissed about it, but it looked like he was going to beat Brock.
Yeah.
And then you fast forward a few years, and then all the stuff that Roman's been through is like a little while back, like Roman versus AJ Styles was a great match, and then the whole Roman Braun Strowman saga is just like Roman versus Samoa Joe, and it was like if Roman can go head to head with those guys, and then after being a rookie who almost beat Brock Lesnar, why wouldn't he now being more seasoned and having more fights under his belt, not be able to topple him after this build?
Yeah. And it's the thing that's most frustrating is they're booking his storylines like Austin. They're giving him matches like Cena. They're making him cut promos like this guy. They're trying to like piece together some kind of voodoo Roman doll with a bunch of the different things that they're doing. And none of this is helping him. None of this is making it any better. And when I say like fix Roman and whatever, look, I think Roman is a fantastic performer. I hate the fact that he cocks his fist, but he's got exciting finishers. He moves well in the ring. I love the what's the one where he runs on the side view or whatever? When he runs
the drive-by.
The drive-by. Yeah. Side view. Yeah, the side view mirror. Fuck me. Like I like his moveset from that kind of standpoint. He gets a lot of height on his jumps when he goes over the rope. The whole 9 yards, man. I like Roman Reigns. Liked him in the Shield. Thought they pushed him too fast, too early when he was still a little too green. Started coming into his own. He actually got himself over in Philadelphia on that Monday Night Raw. And then Vince reinserted himself. And honestly, I really feel like it's been a roller coaster, but it's kind of been like a roller coaster going downhill with him. And this was supposedly where you're gonna, whatever it was, he was gonna overcome Brock, and he was gonna be the champion, and the champion was gonna be on Raw, and whoever it was gonna have a good feud with him. And you hope that finally getting out of the Brock fucking shadow or umbrella or whatever the case may be, maybe we can really move forward with the heavyweight title, right? But apparently not.
Oh, I mean, the one thing I said is just you have a plan, stick to it. Don't change it on day 364, 365. For what reason, I don't know. Why? Because they like him in Saudi Arabia and they're going to cheer him? That's great. What's going to happen when he comes back to the United States and everyone still hates him?
Exactly. If you're just doing this because you want his win to be with more cheers than boos, you're still not fixing the root of the problem. And again, I don't think Reigns is necessarily the problem.
No, it's the booking and the writing. It's never been his fault.
No. Suffer and Succotash was also his fault. I don't care. If someone gives you a shitty line, you still got to perform it.
Either way.
No, but there was stuff early on that was his fault. He's not held blameless. Some of this was on him, but 90% of it, he's overcome. The being green and being slow in the ring, the not selling, all that kind of stuff that was issues early are not issues anymore. 90% of the issues with Roman Reigns right now is the way he's being portrayed as a character, the way he's being portrayed in the ring, the way he's cutting his promos, and those things are not really all jiving together. They're not. And you cannot expect someone that's having internal issues with their own character, whether it's his fault or the writing's fault. Any character that's broken in and of itself You can't expect that to get over with the crowd. They're not going to buy into your shit if you haven't even got your shit together.
And I really just think it's at a point where it's too little, too late at this point. I think you kind of got to scrap it. Maybe you give him a break for a couple of months and repackage him and come back a different way. I don't know. I honestly don't know what you do with the guy at this point aside from turning him heel.
And if you and this is the thing that kills me the most is because if you just turned him heel, you have plenty of, here's the thing, right? The fear, right, is the John Cena-less WWE that doesn't have a John Cena, right?
You need one right now, though. That's the whole point. You have so much talent. You don't need that guy anymore.
Exactly. What I'm saying is you have enough AJ Styles and guys like him that you can have a culmination of the top guy, right? Whether you don't want to officially say, okay, AJ's the head of the, like the John Cena of the company now, or Nakamura is, or Kevin Owens is, or no matter what, you don't want to do that. That's fine. But you have enough guys right now that you don't need to put all your eggs into the basket of Roman being the top face, Make-A-Wish, John Cena, smiley, goofy promo, bad match, John Cena. You don't need to duplicate that right now. If you just turn him heel, all this goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? If they really don't like Roman, they're going to stop booing him as a heel because that's what they're supposed to do. Right? They'll just be apathetic or quiet or whatever, right? Or the Reigns sucks stuff will just become like the Cena sucks stuff. A fucking parody of itself. Right? And then you turn them face and everybody's kind of like, all right, whatever. That's how you do these things. That's the reason you turn Nakamura heel. That's the reason why they're going to turn Rude heel. That's the reason why you flip-flop Big Show fucking 45 times a night. This is the progression of a character in wrestling. The only person that they haven't done that with is fucking John Cena. And he started as a big-time heel. Roman was in the Shield. He was a heel with the Shield for a little bit. Yeah, okay, fine. That wasn't as a singles competitor. Right? And your life in the Shield and your life as a singles competitor is a lot different. Just ask fucking Shawn Michaels. I think his singles career went a lot differently than his tag matches. A little bit, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up John Cena who started out as heel because, I don't know. To me, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll say a good 85, 90% of all the top baby faces had started off with a really good heel run.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, and then the fans usually they turn to babyface because the fans enjoy the heel too much.
Mm-hmm.
But if you try to put someone as a babyface too hard, it's nobody it's kind of like that person on social media who only every morning they post some extremely positive, optimistic post, and it's just God, I just want to see you angry. Just if you have a bad day, just one time,
oh no, my scrambled eggs fell on the floor. Just guess I won't have breakfast. Here's to a good day. Oh,
nobody likes that guy. So you're happy all the time. Nothing bothers you.
Yeah.
It's show us your edgy side first. Show us your edgy side, and then let's decide. Once you redeem yourself, then we'll like you. You know what I mean? Something I think that's what it is with Roman. It's just
well, look at Randy Orton, right? Randy Orton hated being a face for a long fucking time. And he was just getting over with his fucking RKOs and the way he was wrestling, and fans just started getting behind him. And they had to fucking turn him face, right? And there's a bunch of look at Rusev. They have to turn Rusev face or fucking release him. There's Rusev Day is way too over for him to be a heel right now. Yeah. And as much as they like to say oh, we listen to the fans and that's how we book, but then other times they're well, fuck the fans. They don't know what they're talking about. But then which is it then? Because look at things like Zack Ryder. Look at Rusev Day. Look at Sandow. Look at some of these things. It's look, I get it. Look, I'm not arguing that Zack Ryder should have beaten Brock Lesnar for the heavyweight championship, but he didn't deserve to be thrown off a fucking loading dock by Kane either. You know, Sandow was so over, and you had John Cena squash him for the fucking briefcase thing, and then you did nothing with him ever after that. Like the Mizdow stuff, you know, but that was it. That was over. He was a goof act, and then he was released. Sometimes it's like the stubbornness or whatever it is, which a guy that they just don't believe can make money or whatever the case may be. And how many times do you hear these stories of, you know, look at fucking Austin. Before Austin came and did the Stone Cold stuff after he won the King of the Ring, all right, Austin was fucking muddling along in mediocrity. He was a good technical wrestler, you know, had some okay characters and whatnot. He starts spitting shit in ECW. They fucking bring him back. Eventually, he wins King of the Ring, and boom, Stone Cold Steve Austin. But that's fucking lightning in a bottle. That's not every wrestler. It's just it's funny when sometimes, you know, as much as they talk about doing stuff for the fans, whatever, the fact that they fight so hard sometimes against the wave of the fans, it seems silly.
I wonder when Triple H eventually does take over, what is he going to think differently, or is he going to be the same way?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say yes, and I'm a huge Triple H mark, so a piece of me wants to be like, oh yeah, absolutely, everything's going to be 100% okie dokie when he's, you know. But supposedly he was the biggest guy that was anti Ryder. He was one of the biggest guys that was actually anti Punk. You know, so I mean, I'd like to think that it wouldn't happen. He's doing a hell of a job in NXT, but you know, it's just part of the business. Certain guys are not over with the company, no matter how over with the fans they get.
So yeah, so that a match was just abysmal. Either way.
And it's funny because I actually thought at times they were doing a good job because he kept kicking out of Lesnar, right? And Lesnar kept getting frustrated and screaming and, you know, like kept looking over to Heyman, and Heyman's like, fucking stay on him. Give him another F5. I don't know. Don't fucking look at me. You know, and I thought that they were doing a good job at that portion of the match. But the beginning of the match was the middle was pretty good. And then the ending and the weird finish. Not necessarily weird finish, but just confusing, maybe.
Another thing I would have done in this match, and I just don't understand why they don't do it with Brock. I would have done a submission.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
When they first brought him back and they were doing the Kimura lock with Shawn and Triple H.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. Also, too, who was it that he was fighting? And it was Del Rio. He fought Del Rio in one of these like little special things that they did, and he did like some ground and pound MMA stuff. Now I know Del Rio has a big background in that stuff, so maybe it was easy or good for them to do that. But you're telling me you couldn't have Roman learn some mat wrestling and some mission stuff, you know, grappling and stuff like that. You tell me you couldn't have had him learn enough that Brock couldn't have pulled that off a little bit. I also miss when like Brock has somebody down, he fucking like lays into them with his knees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that ground and pound stuff. He doesn't do that shit. It's really become like this. He's almost booked now. Granted, it's a different kind of way, but he's been booked just like a Cena match too, right? Cena gets beat the fuck up out of for 20 minutes, and then he hits a one shoulder bump, and then he hits another shoulder bump, and then you can't see me, 5 knuckle shuffle, AA, later, I'm going to my big fucking bus. Like, and now Brock is just, hey, how's it going? I'm Big Brock Lesnar. Suplex, 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 F5. Good night. I'm going to go back to Montana and live in my house without a phone. Like, even his matches are getting shittier. Like at least, you know, like really fucking grind fucking Reigns, mash him into a pulp. Because honestly, we've seen people take suplexes. We've seen people take stuff worse than suplexes. Just because Brock is bigger and stronger doesn't mean his suplexes are that much harder, right? Because look, taking a suplex from Kevin Owens, taking a suplex from Brock. Yeah, maybe Brock has a little bit more height. Maybe he has a little bit more torque. Maybe it hurts you a little bit more. But, suplexes are superplexes are just part of matches these days. Just because you hit 5 or 6 or 7 suplexes, why is that so much worse than anything else Roman Reigns has ever gone through in his life?
Jamal, any final thoughts?
Say that again?
Any final thoughts?
Overall, TakeOver and WrestleMania were great. Roman Reigns, I think we all said what needed to be said. Just don't know what they're doing with him right now. It's a wasted opportunity, but I'll keep watching because that's what addicts do. It's no good for me, but I'll be there tomorrow watching.
Yep. It's okay. Raw didn't mean to hit me like that. Raw was just a little angry.
Yeah, but
you know what? Raw apologized afterwards, and Raw's not going to do it to me anymore. So,
but it's a good question. Like, is this straw that camel's back? Like, are we finally? Are some people going to stop watching now? They're going to cancel subscriptions. I'm just curious. Some fans might.
Any hardcore fan that's been watching religiously for the last year? No,
not us, but other people.
Yeah. Casual fans that would have probably canceled after WrestleMania anyway. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think this booking is changing anything that much more because it's like, which one do you hate more? Do you hate that Brock has the title, or did you hate the fact that Roman was going to win the title? Now, I know there are other options than just those things. We could have had fucking Kevin Owens beat Brock Lesnar for the title, right? Who knows? But given what we've just experienced, I don't know. Like, are you going to sit there and go, anybody but Roman, fuck Roman? Wait, Roman lost? Brock Lesnar's still the champ? Man, fuck this thing. I ain't watching no more. I just don't see how many people like that there are. Yes, there's going to be a fall off. There probably always is after Mania, right? I'm sure there's fans that remember back in the day we used to watch wrestling. Yeah, let's get the network. It's $9.99. We'll drop it after a month. Right? Essentially, if you're that casual fan, you could spend $40 a year. All right? WrestleMania in HD used to cost $70 by itself. But for $40 a year, you can watch the big four. You sign up for WWE, you let it cancel. You sign up, you cancel. You could do that $40 a year, and you can see the top 4 pay-per-views of the year. If you're feeling saucy, you throw another couple bucks around. You see a couple more pay-per-views throughout the year.
Maybe 5.
Fans,
Yeah, maybe the 5th one for Money in the Bank. But
yeah, Money in the Bank, or maybe. Maybe they have a TLC pay-per-view and the Hardys are back in it, and you're like, oh shit, I want to see that,
or maybe the Hell in a Cell paper. No, playing.
Everybody has their fetishes,
Yeah,
everybody's into something.
But anyway, overall, it was a good show. I think the last couple of matches just ended on a sour note. So I think the first half of the show was much better than the second half.
Yeah. And also, too, if fans were a little bit less tired and a little bit more into the matches, maybe that would have changed something. Like maybe if there was some look, most people didn't want to see Brock versus Roman to begin with. So I don't think no matter what the outcome was, I don't think that match was going to get a lot of love. And if they were shocked by that, then that's their fault. Right? The whole shame on, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me thing.
Yeah.
They how many times do you need to be fooled?
Very true.
But
anyway, but I want to thank Jamal for joining us today.
Yeah, Jamal, thank you so much, man. Good to have you on.
And thanks for having me, guys.
Yep. You want to plug any of your social medias?
Yeah, you can follow me at Jamal Rich Comedy on Instagram, Twitter, JamalRichComedy.com. I have a website now.
Yay!
Nice.
I'm working on creating a new YouTube. It's not up and running yet, but stay tuned.
Cool.
All right, cool. And as always, follow us up at TNF Wrestling on Facebook, at Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe and like us on YouTube.
Yay!
Check us out. Leave some ratings. Leave some comments.
Jamal, you need to be like our Vanna White, where you have to like like hit the button.
Hit the wait, which way subscribe?
Yeah,
subscribe here. Push the button here, and then comment here.
Make sure to super kick that like button.
Yep.
Body slam that subscribe.
Smack down your comment.
There you go.
And don't raw dog us and subscribe on something else too. This has gone too far.
All right, but anyway, thanks everyone for listening, and hopefully we'll have a Raw and SmackDown review up shortly.